for 21 years. Attorney Joseph Brien will listen to your concerns and discuss options available to you. For more information, please call the People's Advocate at 888-828-9008. That's 888-828-9008.
All right, folks, let's talk about the American dream and avoid paying rent. Call Choice Mortgage Bank today. Rates are as low as they've been in a long, long time, and we can get you into a fixed mortgage rate under 3.5%. And if you're tired of paying rent, let's say you pay over $800 a month, now's the time to own your own home or condo, folks. Call Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730. Call him and get pre-approved and pre-qualified for a mortgage so you can live the American dream. Call Michael Kotze now. Rates are at historic lows, down payments as low as 3.5%, and if you're a veteran, no money down. That's 100% financing. Call Michael Kotze and the company that's earned a AAA plus rating. 561-441-2730. Call him for a free qualification and consultation. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender, NMLS 133081.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows production be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.tv. Are you losing sleep at night due to your debt situation? Call attorney Joseph Brien today to sit down for a free consultation to discuss your rights. The People's Advocate is the trade name of the Brien Law Group. The People's Advocate provides services to individuals and small businesses in bankruptcy, foreclosure, short sales, loan modifications, debt relief, consumer law, and estate planning in the South Florida area. Your initial consultation is free of charge. Proudly serving the South Florida community for over 21 years, Attorney Joseph Brien will listen to your concerns and discuss options available to you. For more information, please call the People's Advocate at 888-828-9008. That's 888-828-9008.
This is Talk 1470. WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the People's Advocate Hour with South Florida Attorney Joseph Brien. Listen for the next hour as Attorney Joseph Brien informs you on different legal topics. Whether you are considering bankruptcy or dealing with mortgage or debt issues, Joe can help you. Knowledge is power. Don't fear the unknown. Get answers to your burning legal questions now. So call in and ask Attorney Joseph Brien to answer your questions. 888-565-1470. And now, here's Attorney Joseph Brien.
Thank you. This is the People's Advocate Hour, and I'm here today to do something a little bit more unique. We will talk about the law. We will talk about laws that you may not want to talk about. We're going to have a special guest here today as well. We're going to have Emad Salem. He is an American patriot, basically an American hero, and his story is pretty interesting. And I think it'll be also very interesting for everybody because everybody keeps on talking about these black flag ops, the government orchestrated that. I've heard that about 9/11. I've heard that about many different things. And we brought in an expert today to discuss and push away some of these weird conspiracy theories and talk about the truth. We're going to go and change the format here today. This is going to be one of those days that you want to call in to WNN1470.com. Remember that you can go ahead and send us a requested question on Twitter, and you can call us at 888-565-1470. And this is right before July the 4th, and there's a reason why we're going to have this kind of celebration today, because we're the People's Advocate, and yes, we love America. We really do. We really love America. Now, I don't have a flag behind me today, but I promise you when I come in next time, I will make sure that you see that we are a patriotic program. And most importantly, not just a patriotic program, but that the reason why we talk about the law and we talk about your rights is the People's Advocate believes in the American way, the American dream. There are several Bill of Rights that we have that are part of our Constitution. And it's such a hard thing to change the Constitution of the United States. It's one thing to change a law, like maybe the Patriot Act, which I don't think is very patriotic in its way. I wouldn't call it the Patriot Act, I'd call it the Oversight Act, but just the same. We are patriots in this office, and we love what America stands for. We love the rights that exist in this country, and as an avid traveler all over the world, I took note of what the difference is between having a constitution with Bill of Rights and having laws that can be amended or abrogated, i.e., don't get them today, in different countries. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful countries I've been to: Australia, New Zealand, Canada, several Central and South America. I like Colombia. It's a great country. It's a lot better off than it was now. Was then. It's doing really good now. But America is a unique country. And it draws people from around the world for one reason and one reason only: Independence Day. No, but Independence Day is Friday. And I want you to know that, I spoil my staff. They are on forced holiday on Friday. They're not allowed to come in the office, but they must be paid. I think that everybody should be given Friday day off with pay. Matter of fact, if they want to go ahead and, buy a couple packs of beer or maybe some wine, or if you don't drink wine, then maybe just basically a big turkey. It's a great time to reflect on the greatness of this country. if you've ever had the opportunity to read the Declaration of Independence, it's very, very powerful, and the words cannot be just listened to. You have to read and think about the events that were going on, that there was no true freedom in this country, that there was a monarchy that dictated and chose and made decisions, and you had no rights. And this country was built on people who were striving for happiness, for the pursuit of happiness, in spite of a tyrant whose only concern was his bottom line. Sorry, Queen Elizabeth, but your forefathers were scum. Anyways, the reality is that today I brought in a patriot because I said, let me go ahead and excite the people. And I brought in somebody who came to this country because he loves it. Do you love this country?
Of course I do. First, let me take this opportunity to thank you very much for giving me this platform to talk about America and why, as an Egyptian born, I am so proud to be an American.
And who is that young man? That young man is Emad Salem. Emad Salem, you may or may not know. If you're a historian, you'd know his name right away. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you would know his name. And if you're a member of the federal government and you work for the CIA or FBI, yes, Emad is here today to talk about things that you guys know about because he's spoken to you many times. He's a friend of the American government. Emad Salem is the one who brought down the 1993 bombers and worked to continue to protect the United States through consulting with and teaching the CIA and FBI for the cadets and some of the more experienced ones, to advise them on errors that he has witnessed, and to once again protect the United States from the evildoers of the world. And I kind of want to talk about first is that he's an immigrant. He's not originally born in this country, are you?
No, I was born in Egypt, Cairo, Egypt, in 1950.
God, you're old.
Kind of.
But some people do look better with age, and you have gotten more handsome over the years.
Oh, thank you. But that's not my real appearance. To be quite honest, my real appearance is being altered due to security reasons.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we don't want them to know what you look like today. So, listen, you came to this country. Why? Why would you leave Egypt? You were a success story in Egypt. My understanding is you were a lieutenant colonel in the military.
Correct.
And we all know that a military career, especially at an officer level, it means status, opportunity, and success in your society.
That's correct. That's correct. But I think my love to America started in kindergarten when two American teachers were my teachers in American school in the state of Cairo. And they left a great impression on me, the way they were teaching me.
What was that? What was it? What was the freedom that they seemed to give? Was it the freedom in the way they taught you? What was the issue?
They allowed us to express ourselves, and I didn't understand it at the time. All I know that these two teachers, Miss Anga and Miss Matilda, which I mentioned them in my book, they left a great impression. And it happened that on the top of the blackboard was the American flag, and that got attached to my mind. I grew up, I joined the army as an engineer.
Yeah, but before that you were like a judokan. You were like big time into judo?
I'm a black belt in martial arts, second degree. Wow. And I have been national champion in Cairo. I have been national champion in some of the states in America, but that's under different names because I usually live under assumed identity. Actually, I'm living now under my...
You're hard to follow?
My 15th identity today, that's what I am living under.
May you have many more.
I hope not. Once the dangers get close, we have to shut down the name, the social, and again, the American beautiful government give me a new name, new identity, and I start from the scratch.
Well, you're a national treasure. I know you don't believe me, but you are. Raquel, he's a national treasure.
Is he?
He is. Quite candidly, the United States, under certain departments, felt it was incumbent upon the United States to bring a man who's called Abdel Rahman. Now, he may not mean much to you because you're so young, but Abdel Rahman was the sheikh and basically the spiritual leader of today's Al-Qaeda. He had done a lot of things that one would call to be evil doing. I call it evil doing. It covers a big cover for me. And Abdel Rahman was brought to the United States at the behest of the United States government in order to protect him. And while he was here, he decided to be a naughty man. We have many people out there that are religious leaders, religious teachers.
Right.
We've had them in the medieval century with some of our popes. And in modern day today, we have certain religious leaders who are scholars in Islam, which is the study of the Muslim religion. And they come to the United States. And you actually became quite close to this guy named Abdel Rahman.
Yeah, the blind sheikh. He is known in United States as the blind sheikh. And
where is he today?
He is in Colorado prison, federal prison, but for some reason the administration took him out of prison, put him in a medical facility.
Well, he's not young.
No, he's 74 now.
So that's not shocking.
Yeah, and he's diabetic and have high blood pressure. So
you know a lot about this guy, don't you?
Well, I was his bodyguard. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was a terrorist one day.
Well, you were an undercover agent.
Undercover, thankfully.
I don't want these people thinking I'm bringing a terrorist to my show, because that would never happen, because I don't believe in evildoers. I think that they should be kept far away in a place called Guantanamo. I think it's a great facility.
Well, I think whoever should be concerned about me is the evildoers,
yes,
or the fanatics, or Al-Qaeda, or...
Yeah, but listen, this Abdel Rahman, wasn't he somewhere involved in killing Sadat, the assassination of Sadat?
Yeah, he is the one who gave the order, which it's an Islamic way called fatwa. Word fatwa means it's Islamic order.
So it doesn't mean like fat wife? Short for fat wife.
No, not fat wife. It's called fatwa.
Because you call your wife fat, you're going to be in a lot of trouble too. What do you think, Raquel? Can you get away with calling her fatwa?
I don't know about that.
Especially if she knows what you're saying. Yeah.
So he gave a fatwa on President Sadat simply because he signed Camp David agreement with President Jimmy Carter for the peace agreement with Israel.
Now, you were at least on face recognition level with Sadat back then. He would actually know you, right?
He would not know me, but I know him because as a military officer, at the day of President Sadat's assassination, I was on rank major in the Egyptian army, and I was among the troops around the parade, which President Sadat got assassinated at.
Now, somebody that probably was around when you were in the military, General Sisi, who's now President Sisi, is that somebody that you would actually know if you saw him, or not really at this point?
No, at that time, I never heard of him. I think he came on the screen lately after the Egyptian revolutions in January.
Now, because you're an Egyptian officer, you know that a majority of the Egyptian economy is based upon the military's economy, in the sense that the military supports a lot of small businesses. The economy is economics, like some of the banking for the mini loans, the kind of tiny loans that opens up small businesses. My understanding is that the military is heavily involved in financing small business in Egypt. Is that true?
Financing and manufacturing, yes. The military have a lot of manufacturers, factories in Egypt. A lot of Egyptian people work in as a civilian people in military factories.
So if you try to close down the military, you're trying to close down the Egyptian economy?
No, not really, because 80% of the Egyptian economy built on tourism.
Okay. And speaking of tourism, this guy, Abdel Rahman, the blind sheikh, was he somewhere responsible for those killing of those many German tourists in Luxor?
Yes, he gave a fatwa. He was in Colorado federal prison, maximum security, and unfortunately he used his attorney, Lynn Stewart, to leak his message through press interviews. And his followers in Egypt picked up on that, and the message was hit the tourism. And sadly, there is 63 Swiss national on Egypt. They were visiting Luxor.
Oh, so they weren't German, they were Swiss German.
They were Swiss German.
Ah.
And unfortunately, they are all got killed. And after they got killed, they got cut with knives, and they stuck in their wounds messages to free the blind sheikh, or you're going to be paying hefty price.
So you found out a lot of these things from just being around? How do you know these things?
No, I mean, I went undercover 1990 after the FBI noticed the assassination of a Jewish rabbi.
Oh, Rabbi Kahana.
Rabbi Meir Kahana, exactly. And the FBI didn't have that much of insight, and they approached me after I had done some cases for the feds against the Russian. I was employed in a hotel in Manhattan in New York, and there is some Russian people who were in my hotel. I was approached by Special Agent Nancy Floyd.
Now, she's still around today. What does she do?
She's retired at this time.
Okay, so when she retired from the FBI?
She's retired last year from the FBI, and she was in the Russian squad, counterterrorism Russian squad of New York, and she came and asked my assistance to give her a background about these Russian people. And that's when I had the opportunity to give back to America.
Why do you feel that need to?
I love America since childhood, as I explained in the beginning of our discussion.
Right, but you actually kind of retired from the military.
Correct.
Now, with that are all those benefits. There's a lot of benefits that you get by staying in. That
Correct.
And you picked up yourself and you moved to New York.
Yes.
Why?
Because unfortunately at that time there was so many human rights violation.
That's right. I remember you mentioning that.
And I mentioned that even in my book.
You actually participated or witnessed
yes,
torture.
I did witness some torture, and it's just not
excuse my purient interest, but I mean, what kind of torture? I mean, just somebody slapping across the face?
No, the scene I saw at that time, which it shattered my box, actually, the Egyptian or the Middle Eastern box, if you say so. It was a university professor, and for whatever reason, they arrested him, and I went down to the basement with one of the Egyptian feds at that time, and the guy, when they opened a metal door, it was very dark, very smelly, but once the light turns on, I see a guy hanging upside down, and his leg hooked to the ceiling, and he was whipped really badly, and I was just shocked.
Now, I know that this is a strong effect upon you.
Oh, big time, because...
But you were Lieutenant Colonel. You were in the Ranger. I mean, what were you? Were the Rangers? I mean, you were a special ops guy. You were a conditioned, strong fighting soldier, weren't you?
Correct. I fight for my country,
but this got wrong, huh?
It's wrong to torture my civilian people. Everybody, and this is what I love about America. Everybody gotta have the due process.
Like, I couldn't have done a subpoena, a writ of certiorari, and have him brought before a judge.
That's correct. This is the American way.
No, and can anybody go in there and protect him without money and power?
No, unfortunately, at that time in Egypt.
So at that time there was no individual rights, and I guess you saw this, and this have affected you strongly.
It just shattered my heart. It shattered my human personality, and I thought, if I am a major at that time and carrying a rank on my shoulder, and I am in power. I don't know, tomorrow when I'm retired, is it possible for me to be hanging upside down that way, or my kids, or my wife? So that's the time when I decided to retire and wrap my things and take my kids and immigrate to United States.
But before that, you were a go-getter in Egypt.
Yes, I was.
Weren't you even actually assigned to do something for the United States back then?
Yes, I did. I had done things for the Egyptian military for some other reasons, and I was proud to do what I do.
Because you use your skills. You use your training.
I am blessed with my skills. I am blessed to be able to go among Al-Qaeda and to act as terrorist, and that's what I mentioned, but I was a terrorist, but undercover, and make them think and believe that I'm an evil doer.
Because you understood them.
I did dissect their personality. I did lived with them. I lived with them in the basement of the mosques. I plotted bombings with them. But all of that was under the eye of the FBI in New York.
These guys are fanatics, but they're not necessarily crazy.
No, they are not crazy. Unfortunately, some of our media outlets try to describe them as stupid or as having Down syndrome. They are very smart, intelligent, but they are being misled and manipulated and brainwashed.
And they're angry.
They are very angry, because if you have a toolbox of words, like the blind sheikh, one day we went to Detroit for fundraising, and he stood in the mosque and said, "How dare you, US dollar worshipper, leave your mothers and sisters in Iraq and Afghanistan to be raped by the blue-eyed soldiers and get pregnated by them."
He just was wanting to get people pissed off.
We have like 300-400 people in the mosque, and another 304 people outside of the mosque attending his speech. They were so angry against America, they want to kill any American they see, because the vision he succeeded to plant it in their mind that their mothers and sisters being raped by American soldiers.
So they were pissed off. And
They
gave money.
They gave $8,000 in 1 hour. I counted by myself because I was acting.
You know, Bill Clinton gets as much as $200,000 for an hour.
Well, Bill Clinton acted as a leader of the free world, so I don't think he should be ashamed of what he get for whatever.
You think he deserves it, don't you?
Pardon me?
You think he deserves it?
I think he deserves it, yes.
Because it's the American way to make money. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I never forget President Clinton, how did he stood against the Serbian, for the Muslim people in Serbia when they're being attacked, and send American money, American troops, American military, and bomb the Serbians to protect Muslim people.
Shows that he's got an even hand.
He got an even hand, and America most of the time try to be the leader of the free world. And here I am, I'm a Muslim, I live in the United States of America, I practice my religion without anybody criticizing me. I was working with the FBI, nobody ever blamed me for praying as a Muslim person. Right. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, you don't have that so I know better. How beautiful.
Isn't the First and Second Amendment some of the greatest things this country brings to us?
It's beautiful, it's great, it makes you become alive as a human being. I am being treated in America as a human being. I am not being looked down as a Middle Eastern descent or as a Muslim.
The only time we look down at you is because we're taller. Listen, if you want to call in and ask some questions of Emad Salem, Call in at 888-565-1470. This is the People's Advocate Hour, and quite candidly, we generally talk about the law, and if you have questions about legal issues that are concerning you, whether it comes to some tax issues, some creditor issues that you're concerned about creditors bothering you, or you're concerned about somebody taking your money, if you're looking for options in the future, give us a call. And if you're looking for a free consultation, that's what the People's Advocate does. We give free consultations. We discuss with you your legal issues. We talk about strategies and options available to you, and we try to make it so that you feel confident. Matter of fact, you've actually been a client of mine, haven't you?
Yes, I was.
Am I a terrible attorney? Come on, tell the truth. Come on, you're online. You gotta tell the
No,
truth.
you are sharp like a razor, and that's why I chose you to represent me.
Next one, thank you so much. Very kind of you. Once again, Emad Salem will put you straight for those that thought that 1993 was a Black Flags Op, and all your friends out there that are saying that 9/11 was. Well, Emad will set you straight, and you may not like the answers, but the truth is there. We're also going to go ahead in a few moments after we go on to a break, is we are going to go ahead and discuss some of the more up-to-date things that are going on, like Benghazi. And we're probably going to go ahead and talk about some of the other issues that are going on shortly after the break. Once again, this is the People's Advocate. Give us a call in at 888-565-1470. Let's have a conversation with Emad Salem.
Are you losing sleep at night due to your debt situation? Call attorney Joseph Brien today to sit down for a free consultation to discuss your rights. The People's Advocate is the trade name of the Brien Law Group. The People's Advocate provides services to individuals and small businesses in bankruptcy, foreclosure, short sales, loan modifications, debt relief, consumer law, and estate planning in the South Florida area. Your initial consultation is free of charge. Proudly serving the South Florida community for over 21 years, Attorney Joseph Brien will listen to your concerns and discuss options available to you. For more information, please call the People's Advocate at 888-828-9008. That's 888-828-9008. You are listening to the People's Advocate Hour with South Florida Attorney Joseph Brien. He keeps you informed about your rights when it comes to bankruptcy or foreclosure and wants you to be part of his show. Call 888-565-1470 and help him help you get informed. Now, back to our show.
All right, well, here we're back at the People's Advocate Hour, and actually one of the reasons why we're here today isn't just for my good looks. We're here for Raquel's good looks. We have another young lady here today. She's much better looking than the two of us put together. But Emad Salem wrote a book about his experience, going into detail. Actually, not as much detail as we wanted, because, like, for instance, there were so many questions we had. But basically, it's called Undercover. And there's a picture of Emad on the front, and the Twin Towers before they were gone. And it's called by Emad Salem, The Untold Story of Al-Qaeda, the FBI, and the CIA in America. And one would say that Emad is an expert on Al-Qaeda because he was intimately involved in what would be considered the early years of the development of the modern Al-Qaeda of today. And Emad, would you say quite candidly that you know a lot about Al-Qaeda of today?
Well, I was one of the first Al-Qaeda group who infiltrated New York City, and this group started by killing one of the Egyptian Muslim imams in El Farouk Mosque in Brooklyn, and then the second.
When did that happen?
That happened 1990.
Okay.
The Blind Sheikh.
Why'd they kill him?
They killed him because he gathered $1 million to assist the Mujahideen in Afghanistan.
Which was when the United States was supporting them too.
That's correct. The Blind Sheikh requested the money and he wanted to send it to Egypt to fight the Mubarak regime. Mustafa Shalabi was the name of the imam who got assassinated.
Was he a moderate? Not really.
He was not a fanatic, but he was supporting the Muslim cause against the Russian. supporting the Afghan.
Well, actually, that would be the Soviets. Let's not call them the Russians, because that was the Soviet Union back then, right?
That's correct.
I know there's a bunch of youngsters in the audience who probably don't realize that Russia used to be called the Soviet Union. You know, what do you call it? The USSR. I mean, there's a good Beatles song called "Back in the USSR." If you don't know but anyways, USSR.
Yeah, and then after that, he gave another order to assassinate Ariel Sharon in one of his visits to New York, and it didn't succeed. So his third fatwa was to assassinate Meir Kahane, and unfortunately succeeded to kill him.
You know, the connection, there was actually a riot by Meir Kahane's followers in Jerusalem. Recently there was some, I believe it's Hamas fanaticals, a splinter group from Hamas, kidnapped 3 teenage boys and killed them. And they found the bodies 18 days later, and actually Meir Kahane's followers, an organization called Koach. And they basically 150 of them demonstrated in the streets because they were very unhappy with the murder of the teenage boys. So, but I mean, it's just interesting that, you know, these strong feelings, they don't go away.
No, they don't. I mean, I started to go undercover for the American government in 1990, and I'm talking about assassinating Meir Kahane, and here a week later, last week we discovered that Meir Kahane's legacy through his group still demonstration in Israel, because still the fanatics killing people or killing children actually. And it just has so much relevance that these evildoers.
Let's talk about something that's very relevant. You know, everybody keeps on talking about this Benghazi stuff.
Yes.
And they say, oh, it's an old history. We've already disclosed it. It doesn't really matter. Has it really been disclosed?
No, absolutely not. At the time of Benghazi was happening, I have very good ears and eyes on the Egyptian streets, and at that time the blind sheikh's son, his name is Dr. Abdullah, he is PhD in Islam as well, but he is so radical. They demonstrating in front of the American embassy in Tahrir Square. So I got my ears and eyes among these demonstrators to find out what is really going on, and the word started from Tahrir Square in front of the American embassy,
where they did the demonstrations and went for the pro-democracy, pro-freedom.
Correct. Okay. And they shredded the American flag and they jumped on the American embassy, and
they got pushed back though.
They got pushed back, but their word went to Benghazi to attack our facility up there.
Is that why it was called the Abdul Rahman Brigade?
Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman Brigade.
And that was the original people who are claiming responsibility for the attack on Benghazi.
And they still exist. They are still working to kidnap Americans, to exchange them with the blind, releasing the blind sheikh.
Well, you know, there's a good chance that that's going to happen soon anyways, because if you've got him in a medical facility and now I don't think General Sisi wants him back at this time.
No, he has an execution order against him in Egypt, so if he's going to go to Egypt, he will face his...
and if we release him, we're not going to send him to Sudan again.
Well, Emirates giving, Qatar giving that they are willing to take him there, and actually his partner, Brien Sheikh's partner, Sheikh Qaradawi, lives in Qatar, and he is supporting Sheikh Omar's followers in
Egypt,
which in Egypt, which is the Muslim Brotherhood at the time when they took over the presidency. That's when President Morsi at that time came to the White House and requested the release of the blind sheikh from President Obama.
But that's not today.
That's not today.
Why?
Because the Muslim Brotherhood is no longer in power.
Aren't they going to be executed, some 300-400 of them?
There is a group of people, of them, they are standing trials, and since they got involved in killing some police officers and so on, they are getting some executed. Yeah, they will be hanged to death. But they got a trial. Unfortunately, Muslim Brotherhood or Al Qaeda or all of these fanatic groups, they don't give any other people trial. When the 6 people got killed in the World Trade Center 1993, They didn't get a trial before they get killed. They just got killed. When we have 3,000 people, American people, got demolished and evaporated in the Second World Trade Center, they didn't get a trial. But the goodness of America, the goodness of the American government, that even the guy who killed our ambassador, when we bring him over here, we read him his Miranda rights.
And he'll get a trial.
And he will get a trial. So how beautiful this country is.
That it shows that much respect for the individual human being.
Human rights.
God bless the American way.
Absolutely.
Although there are a lot of Americans who'd like to just go ahead and take care of this in a real short to do, like, a little sideshow, like, you know what I'm saying?
I understand, but again,
that's not the American way.
It is not the American way.
And we may not like that, but that's the American way.
Country who can respect the law.
That's why you're here, isn't it?
Absolutely. I am proud to be an American.
Why? Because it's the greatest country on the planet.
It is the strongest, it is the best, it is the greatest country on the planet. Maybe sometimes some mistakes happen with different administrations, but the bottom line, we always send help to Africa. We always send our troops. Here is Iraq. We're going to bail them out again and sending our money, our soldiers, our resources to help people. And they are Sunni people, Muslim people.
Now, matter of fact, speaking about Iraq, ISIS has been taking over the middle range of the country, where it's mainly the Sunni neighborhoods. They've tried elsewhere, but ultimately they're going to take over the Sunni neighborhoods up to the Jordanian border, up to the Saudi border, up to the Syrian border. And they've just recently said that they're going to institute Sharia law. What is Sharia law? And are they talking about Sharia law that you're talking about? Or what is Sharia law?
Sharia law is Islamic law, and it's being taken out, part of it out of the Quran, and the other part out of the Sunnah. And Sunnah is what Prophet Muhammad talked about. And
so an oral law.
Exactly. And there is so many Sunnah, it's not been documented accurately because just it's a word of mouth.
So therefore it can be twisted to make a trap for fools.
And that is why when we talk about Sharia law, we have to be careful. What are we applying from Sharia law? Is it part of the Quran or it's part of the Sunnah? And if it's part of the Sunnah, is it really truthful, or it is something just being added as a man-made?
So you think they're going to do what you would consider to be mid-range Sharia law, or they're going to do some sort of interesting manufacture?
No, the ISIS people, unfortunately, I hear that there is so many people say, we have experts on terrorism, and they said ISIS is different than Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is the name of a place called Al-Qaeda, and that place bring fanatics to become terrorists, to go kill people. I'm a color blind, I am faith blind, I'm a nationality blind. I live with people. I don't see your faith, I don't see your nationality. These people, if you're not a Muslim, then you deserve to be killed. If you have blue eyes, then you're an evil and you deserve to be killed.
I think blue eyes are pretty.
Well, that's something hopefully your girlfriend gotta talk about, not me.
Oh, there you go. That's right. It's okay. I have blue eyes, and obviously ISIS is not going to find me in favor because I'm not going to agree to their interpretation of Sharia law, because my understanding is it's fanatical.
They are a group of fanatic people. They are part of Al-Qaeda, which was in Afghanistan one day, and then they went to Sinai when the Muslim Brotherhood became in charge. They halfway supported by Hamas.
Now, are these Shia or these are Sunnis?
No, they are Sunnis, and unfortunately, it was a wrong and mistake that we put al-Malki in charge of the Iraqi government, and al-Malki is Shi'i. So we thought because we helped him to maintain presidency in Iraq, that he will be loyal to America. But sadly, his loyalty falls to the mullahs in Iran, which they are Shias, and that comes to backfire against the Sunnis, and the Sunnis going to
Yeah, but
retaliate.
the Sunnis aren't just killing Shia; they're killing themselves.
They
aren't
are killing everybody.
Just anybody that looks funny at them.
Absolutely.
So no jokes. I can't make
Especially
jokes over
people
there.
with blue eyes. I'm just kidding.
And no jokes, right? I can make no jokes. You know.
So
You know
ISIS
how a radical goes out on a date with another radical chick.
not really.
He has to wear one of those big black outfits so that he can't tell, because he's not married to her. He can't be with her, right? So he has to dress up like a woman to be with a woman. I mean, if he gets caught out there with what do you call it, they could get killed, right?
Yes, definitely.
And that's radical.
It is radical. They allow themselves to be judge and executioner.
Right.
And I don't think that's correct. I don't think it's right.
Now, let me ask you another thing. I mean, I know this is kind of weird, and we're kind of running out of time, but I want to throw out a few things that I've heard or read. Do you know about the instant marriages in Iran?
Yes,
Because they don't believe in non-marital sex.
that's correct.
So they're doing what they do is they pay a bride price, and they get married for a weekend or 2 weeks, and then they divorce.
Well, not necessarily they divorce. It's called the Urfi marriage. And the Urfi marriage is Qabul wa Ijab and a witness, means the man has to ask the bride her acceptance, and the bride accept him as a husband, and 2 witnesses to witness that, then she is his wife, and they can stay in hiding that way, but they are husband and wife,
Right.
because it's not allowed to have a girlfriend. I never had a girlfriend in my life.
Now you're a married man.
I am married. I always maintain to be married. Thank God, my wife, we have been together with God's blessing for 25 years now.
She put up with you for 25 years.
Oh, God bless her. That's why she's going to go straight to heaven.
Maybe she can drag you along.
I hope so.
So Benghazi was run by the Muslim Brotherhood, which is Al Qaeda, anyways.
Exactly.
You can't
That's the
separate
point.
these groups,
You
because Al Qaeda
can.
just means a philosophy, and the Muslim Brotherhood is one financial direction. ISIS is another financial direction. Now, I understand that ISIS is being funded by the Saudis and by the Qatars and by the Gulf Emirates.
Well, they have been fighting by Qatar, yes, but now they raided banks, and they have American military heavy artillery, and they are killing whoever wanna stand against him. But I
And
think
they don't care whether they're Sunni, Shiite, Druze, Jew,
no,
Christian.
anybody will stand in their way. He will be beheaded or executed or killed. They are brutal, and that's why I call them evildoers.
Now, it is true that Sharia law says that if I decided that I didn't want to be a Muslim anymore and I decided to become a Jehovah's Witness, I don't know why, but I might become a Jehovah's Witness today, that could result in my execution.
No, sir, that's a very incorrect statement.
Thank you. Why?
Because there is a verse in the Quran called El-Kafirun. The word kafir means infidel. And this is one of the rackets the fanatics use against the non-Muslims. They look at them and say, oh, you are an infidel, and then since you are an infidel, I should kill you. But that's not true, because the Quran said, if you even dealing with an infidel, do not hurt him, leave him to believe what he believes, and you maintain your belief. And I mentioned that in my book, actually, which I just published, called Undercover. It's being
And your book, The Uncover, it can be picked up on Amazon.com, right?
that's correct. And
and it gives you a good, strong understanding about the truth of what happened with Al Qaeda, the FBI, and CIA in America.
that is in the beginning of Al-Qaeda, when they were starting the first bloodshed on American soil. And I was blessed to be undercover among this group of people, and finally the federal government put them away, and they've been got life in prison, including the blind sheikh, which was the spiritual leader.
Okay, and
for
the book,
07.
once again, is called Undercover by Emad Salem, the untold story of Al-Qaeda, the FBI, and CIA in America. And if you want to have any questions of him today, because he knows whether it's a Black Flags op or whether it's real McCoy, what's going on in the world, he's an insider. You can give a call in here to 888-565-1470, or you can go to the website and send in some email questions if you have. Once again, we are here to answer your questions, and we'd love for you, if you want to read his story. It's a really motivating story. You know, we're proud of America. He's proud to be American. I'm proud to know you, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think you're an asset that this country didn't know it but couldn't do without.
Thank you.
And I think that you've been instrumental in helping our agents in both the FBI and CIA get a good insight into what's going on and be able to understand the difference between radical Islam and somebody who wants to be just a good Muslim.
Correct.
And the fact that they've stolen the word jihadist offends you.
No, jihadist is not offensive. A jihadist.
No, but I'm just saying the fact that they've stolen that word and they're using it as if they're jihadist, and that's just the wrong word to describe these people.
It is the wrong word because jihad supposed to be. We are in the month of Ramadan at this time,
Right.
and jihad supposed to be to fight against your own demons, to adjust yourself to be a good human being, not to go kill others. And I think me living among these evildoers gives me the opportunity to dissect their way of thinking. And it varies. Some people think that way because they wanted power. Some people think that way because they wanted money. And some people being there just because they are being manipulated.
And some people just are evil to the bone.
That's correct.
Would you say that that would be a good description for the blind sheikh?
I think he is self-centered. He is
Egotistical?
he is very evil doer, and he's seeking two things: one, power; two, money, which leads to power.
Right. And
But he
does
take Islam as a cover-up for his.
Islam as a cover
Correct.
for his ways.
Correct.
And I think you feel comfortable saying that about a lot of the organizations like the Muslim Brotherhood, what they did to Egypt. Do you feel that they did a good thing for Egypt?
No, that is why the Egyptian people insist to take them off power and put them on trial. They are trying to at least learn human rights. Muslim Brotherhood did not.
But it is our hope at some point in time that Sisi will open up the country and provide for more opportunities and more freedoms. Isn't that not correct?
I believe he will. I have great faith in the man. I did know a lot about him from my ears and eyes in Egypt.
Now, he's not like the military leader that took over Thailand. He's not written any poetry or written any songs for the people?
No, he was a pure military officer, or he was in charge of the Egyptian military. Actually, he got his education here in America.
But he's not known for his sense of humor.
No, he's not. He's a very strict man.
I don't picture we're going to see him singing anytime soon.
Not very soon, no. I don't think so.
But we have hopes that the economy for Egypt will be beginning to improve.
Eventually, yes. He had a good plans, and he started to rectify the wrinkles with the American government.
And it looks like he's being friends with Jordan. He sent over some special ops
Yes.
over to help them in case ISIS decides to come across the border.
Absolutely. He's communicating with Jordan. He's communicating with Israel.
He's a compassionate man, as men go. I mean, we're not
I
talking about
think
he's
so.
not a lily guy, but he's a compassionate person. You think it was very altruistic, his decision to take over the country, don't you think?
He did not take over the country. He was elected by the Egyptian people,
Well, he did overthrow the government first.
as per the Egyptian people's request.
Right. So that shows that he cares about his people, and
Absolutely.
he felt he was doing his duty.
Absolutely.
He wasn't bribed.
No, he was not.
I mean, don't understand me. I'm sure he's benefited financially, but I think we're looking at a guy who saw his country in pain.
Actually, that's not true, because yesterday, the day before, he gave one of his presidential orders is to cut his salary 50% and contribute the other half for the Egyptian government.
Shows you a man that's thinking about the future.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And we have a lot of people in this country who love this country, and they make decisions. Sometimes we agree with our president, sometimes we don't. And I have mixed feelings, but recently we gave up these 5 evildoers. I'm going to start off, they call themselves jihadists, and they also call themselves mujahideen, and they also call themselves, what do you call those guys that were...
They are from Taliban. They are Taliban.
And they're like the big, nasty Taliban,
They
right?
are, unfortunately. But, Joe...
What kind of people are these people?
They are evildoers. I actually, on my website, if you get a chance to look at it, it's www.emad, E-M-A-D, Salem, S-A-L-E-M, one word, .org.
It's on the screen, and it's once again Emad Salem at basically www.emadsalem emadsalem.org.
You will see these 5 people, and one of them beheaded 5 people, and he's lining up 5 heads in front of him and holding the knife full of blood. I have his picture on my website.
And this is one of the guys we let go for one soldier.
But this is the beauty of America on one way, but strategically, in my humble opinion...
What do you mean in one way? What's so great about
in one way that America will not leave, no matter who you are, as long as you are an American, the entire country will stand on your back to bring you home.
And they gave up a lot for this guy, didn't they?
I mean, yeah, they unfortunately, we gave up evildoers who is now assisting into leading so many problems around the globe. And very soon, I mean, the head of ISIS was one of Guantanamo, and he was released a year ago. And what did he do? He went there and gathered a bunch of Sunni people, and now he's...
The Israelis are learning it. They released 1,000 people, and they've already rearrested 41, 2 of them for murdering civilians. So, and of course, these 2 guys that killed the kids, they're just part of the evildoer group. Letting go the evildoers doesn't bring us anything, does it?
No, it does not. And
we're going to pay for these 5, aren't we?
I think so, and unfortunately, they will do a lot of harm against America. And now,
unless we drone them.
Well, this goes back to our government, which is way above my head, but I think we should not release them. But I am so happy that we got our soldier, regardless what he did. He's standing trial as the American beautiful way.
But we are exposing ourselves. Are we not?
Sometimes, yes, we are, and we need to learn more, and we need to understand more the fanatic mentality.
We need to educate the masses so that they get an alternative opportunity to see the world they live in. Don't you agree?
I had the opportunity to walk the walk and talk the talk and live among these evildoers and put them away, thank God.
Anyways, this is www.1470.com. Excuse me, that's WNN 1470. We're on the dial. This was an alternative show today. We changed our format. Call us in again next time at 888-565-1470. This is Joseph Brien, the People's Advocate. If you want a free consultation, come on down and see us in Hollywood at 954-320-6940. Peoplesadvocate.com is our website. Once again, be proud to be an American, and if you're not an American, be proud to be where you are, because here you have rights. That's why they're running from Central America coming here, because here's where the best country in the world is, the United States of America. God bless, and look forward to seeing you guys having fun on July the 4th.
Are you losing sleep at night due to your debt situation? Call attorney Joseph Brien today. You have been listening to the People's Advocate Hour with attorney Joseph Brien. Join attorney Joseph Brien next week on The People's Advocate, as you need to know your rights when it comes to bankruptcy or foreclosure. You can also contact our office at 954-889-7443 for a free consultation. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.